Hey, so just got back from a walk really quick and doing a quick workout, and I want to make some videos just because I'm coming up on the big 50, the big 50, and I've been practicing for a while in Oceanside for over 20 years, since 2001, so over 23 years at this point. And we have a lot of patients that come in and they're in their 50s and 60s, and this is a message that's just resonating with me because they'll come in and we'll examine them. We do a really thorough exam. We don't just guess what's going on. We want to do a thorough exam and then we need time to look at the results, but we do motion study x-rays, and it's just they have to stand up against gravity and they have to hold positions. So if the neck is the main issue, we have them do a neck motion study. If it's like upper back, we'll still do neck. We'll still involve the neck. We'll take pictures of that area. If it's like the lower thoracic or the lower part of your mid back, we'll do a lumbar or a low back motion study. And obviously, if it's lumbar, if it's low back, we'll do a lumbar motion study. And it's amazing. Some people cannot stand. They don't have balance. And then you're asking them to stand there and then move and hold positions. What that's showing me is it's a mobility issue. It's a balance issue and a mobility issue. Balance a lot of times can obviously involve the neck, the upper cervical, the upper neck, and the brain. So if they've had trauma, if they've had concussions, if they had a stroke, there's a lot of variables there. But just keep it simple and just to think, what's going to make it so that you're able to move as you get older. One thing I do 4 days a week is when I'm doing core, I'm on the floor doing, core exercises, I always get up without using my hands because they say that that's a good test for, just function. And in our day ones with people, we're always asking about listen, I know you're here because you're having a symptom, but what's your specific issue? In other words, how is it impacting your life? What are called your ADLs, your activities of daily living. And we've been doing it like this for years. And that's where we have a lot of people that actually stick around. So I have a lot of what we call wellness patients because they want to be able to function and move, and you don't want to end up going back to square one, right? So the whole idea of, I'm good for now. It's yeah, you're not good, okay? So even me, coming up on 50, I'm just thinking about this a lot because I want the next 50 to be good years, right? But what's that going to look like? Well, that's going to have a lot to do with, what we do now. So when it comes to mobility, one of the main things, and also, a thing is when you hit 50, your posture is big. So we're always working on people's posture, and we'll tell them, listen, do neck extensions, do chin pullbacks. If you do that, by the way, and it hurts, or you're having pain, or you're feeling lightheaded, then just back off. You're not ready for that yet. But we're huge into posture. Posture is key. So you need to work on your posture. You got to get aware of it. But also, we want to make sure that the joints in your spine are moving properly. And that there's motion in your spine because your spine's your foundation. I'm doing a workshop on this Monday night. It's stress, inflammation, and fat burning. And one of the main things I talk about is when your spine is locked up, it sends negative stress signals. They're called nociceptive stress signals up through your spinal thalamic tracts. I know that sounds like a lot, right? So I'll just give you caveman explanation. Spine stuck, stress signals get sent to your brain, cause a release in stress hormones, puts your body into sympathetic fight or flight stress response, shuts down healing and a lot of good things, okay? We get your spine moving, the segments that are stuck, we check, we get them moving, we send positive, what we call proprioceptive or positive signals up through the spinocerebellar tracts. So your cerebellum is like the sleeping giant in your brain. The cerebellum is amazing. That's how we actually get the miracles in our office, and that taps into your vagus nerve, but cerebellum feeds into all, higher level thinking areas and gets you out of stress. It blocks the stress response, so it's a really good thing to do. So that's like a neurological explanation tying in stress and, the spine, but also just think when your stress hormones are stuck high, like when cortisol is stuck high chronically, that equals inflammation, systemic inflammation. It all ties in together. But back to your mobility is when we adjust you and we push those bones forward, we're helping get motion in there, okay, which helps with you being able to take gravity, right, because it comes from the top down, and distribute it evenly. Plus, if your pelvis is off, it'll throw your hips off. So another major thing is people come in and they have a lot of hip issues, or they already had a hip replacement. So these are the thoughts that are going through my head. I'm like, man, from working with a lot of patients, but then just looking in the public and seeing, like, if you're in a grocery store, you see someone like hunched over and they're like leaning on their cart, they have mobility issues. And a lot of times it'll shock you how old they are. They might only be in their 40s or 50s or maybe 60. To me, that's not old anymore, because it's all relative, right? The funniest thing though is we get a lot of, I do specialize in pediatrics, but we even get a lot of kids like, high teenage years or early 20s, and they're invincible. So I'm trying to explain this to them, but they're like, yeah, okay. All right, old guy, you're trying to tell me about mobility. I'm fine. I can do cartwheels. I can do backflips. So yeah, when we're younger, we're invincible, but then all those little injuries accumulate and catch up to us. So, they've done research where they put walking up against every exercise. And the reason why I love walking is because it pumps your spine. It sends positive signals to the brain. I used to run and jog, and it banged up like my ankles, my knees, my hips, my back. So I walk now. And so even just getting out there, when you're going to make changes with your health, one of the tips I give in the workshop on Monday night, so we're doing it this Monday night, July 15th. We do it once a month. And we host it at a place called Baya Bar, B-A-Y-A. It's like a minute walk from our office, right down the block. And so when you attend the workshop, you actually get a free smoothie. The smoothies are awesome. They also sell like acai bowls and stuff like that. It's like a health conscious juice bar place that we like. And we actually host the workshop in there. So it's on Monday night at 7 o'clock, July 15th. But we do it once a month. So if you're interested in coming to that, you could definitely come get more information, detailed, specific information. But one tip I give is think progress, not perfection, and start by adding, don't take away. Like, you don't want to take things away. It's too hard. We're all doing things we know we shouldn't do. So don't start by taking things away. Start by adding, and then think progress, not perfection. Slow and steady changes. All right. I hope that helps. If you have any questions, definitely let us know.